Good evening. Welcome to the Spring Meadow Inn. I want to thank the Spring Meadow Inn for letting us come here for, I think it's been a couple of years now. And the food has only gotten better. Can everybody hear me okay? Can you hear me back there? Can you hear me back in the back? Sheila Goldberg. Sheila Goldberg cannot hear me. No? She's eating. Joellen, can you hear me? Okay, very good. Lucille? Got it? Okay, very good. All right, we're going to open up tonight with a little presentation about July 4th, and then the opening prayer, and of course the pledge after that. Sandy?
Hello. I'm going to just talk a little bit, as everybody knows. Yesterday was Independence Day, and I went online and I started looking up some things that I have to admit I really forgot, and it was really nice to have that brought back to my, just to learn a little bit more about it. So, the 4th of July, known as Independence Day, occurs annually on July 4th. It's the birthday of the freedom of the United States. It's a big beach and cookout holiday. It would be strange if the 4th of July was held on the 5th of July. July 4th is the day that the United States claimed independence from the Kingdom of Great Britain, commemorating the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. The Declaration of Independence was a statement adopted by the Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776, which announced that the 13 American colonies then at war with Great Britain regarded themselves as independent states and no longer a part of the British Empire. John Adams put forth a resolution earlier in the year which made a formal declaration inevitable. A committee was assembled to draft the formal declaration to be ready when Congress voted on independence. Adams persuaded the committee to select Thomas Jefferson to compose the original draft of the document, which Congress would edit to produce the final version. The declaration was ultimately a formal explanation of why Congress had voted on July 2nd to declare independence from Great Britain more than a year after the outbreak of the American Revolutionary War, the day Congress approved the wording of the Declaration. It has come to be considered a major statement on human rights, particularly its second sentence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Hallelujah. On June 15th, the Provincial Congress of New Jersey, which had been governing the province since January 1776, resolved that Royal Governor William Franklin was an enemy to the liberties of this country and had him arrested. On June 21st, they chose new delegates to Congress and empowered them to join in a Declaration of Independence. Did you know that politics is biblical? Written from the beginning to the end. In Proverbs 21, God says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a watercourse wherever he pleases." And Proverbs 21:15 says, "When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to the evildoers." In Isaiah 10:1-7, it says, "God will judge crooked judges and those who make unjust laws. Those who oppress others will be oppressed. It is not enough to live in a land founded on justice. Each individual must deal justly with the poor and the powerless. We are not to pass our responsibility off to our nation or even our church. We are accountable to God for what we do." We bow our heads. Father, You are our all-powerful, almighty, and most merciful sovereign King. I ask that your presence be felt in this meeting place tonight. I ask that you guide our paths to be on the straight and narrow, and to direct our thoughts and actions to be like yours. Help us not to become arrogant when you give us a win, and humble us when we don't. Help us to keep on keeping on when it seems that we can't keep on anymore. And also, my friends, we now have a prayer to say for Obama. In Psalm 109:8, may his days be few, may another take his place of leadership. In his holy name, amen.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's get a rolling here. First and foremost, are there anybody here first tea party ever? 1, 2. Anybody else? Just 2? 3. There we go. Thank you. Welcome. Excellent. Anybody here from another tea party? Just visiting. Got one there. Just one? Okay, we'll take it. Well, they're not here yet. They probably got lost. Okay. Did everybody who ordered a shirt, they're at the door. Did you miss that? If you ordered a shirt, Betty has them at the door for you for $10. And they're really nice and good advertisement. $10 is a good price. Speaking of, we're at the bar here. It just so happens that Ruth Bader Ginsburg walked into a bar. Let it go at that. If you know the rest of the joke, you know the rest of the joke. You know the rest of the joke, don't you? Horse walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Hey, what's with the long face?" That's it. Okay, it's a crack at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I call her Ralph, but whatever. Did you know that Europe has passed a law saying that if you get sick on your vacation, you get to take another one. I think that's something that we're going to be facing if we don't win in November. Speaking of a win in November, Tony and I also checked myself for hotels in downtown DC for the inauguration. And when I was looking, they were, Tony found one for like $600 a night, and I think I found one for like $125. That's the good news. We can get it for about $125 a night. We can go Sunday night, and the event, I believe, is on a Monday. The bad news is they are all sold out. Every hotel is seeming to be in Washington D.C. area is pretty much sold out. I checked about 10 of them, and I just couldn't waste any more time with it. That's the bad news. The good news is that I expect half of those reservations will be canceled, and I hope it's by the Democrats. So if you want to go, I'm going. I'm bringing my my yellow flag, and I'm going to be out there, and don't tread on me. And we're going to do it. I don't care if it's snowing. The wife says if it's cold, she's going to stay at the hotel. Fine. Stay at the hotel. I am going. I'm going to be there. I've never been to one in my life, and I'm going to go to this one because it's that important. Okay. Speaking of hotels, the 150th anniversary of Gettysburg, the Battle of Gettysburg, will be next year. And I expect those rooms are going to fill up quite quickly. If you're interested in going, I'm going, because that kind of stuff interests me. Gettysburg is only about, what, 3 or 4 hours away. How many? 3. 2.5 for you. And I checked out all the bed and breakfasts and hotels and everything, and apparently they're in some sort of collusion. They are not going to open up the reservations until Saturday, the 9th. That's this Saturday, I believe, is it? Yes. Yeah. And it's at 7 a.m. I would expect by 9 a.m. a lot of them are going to be sold out. And I just let you know that if you want to go, Saturday, this coming Saturday, 2 days, you got to register. So, FreedomWorks. Is everybody familiar with FreedomWorks? Is everybody signed up with FreedomWorks? A lot of people are. If you are not, it's freedomworks.org, and they have it's a website. It's not the smoothest website, but I'm registered there, and a lot of other people are. And it's a great place to meet other patriots. And if you're traveling and you want to go to another Tea Party somewheres, if you're going to New Hampshire for a week, and there's a you can look on their website. And the Tea Parties, the meetings will be posted. It'd be kind of cool to just go to another one and see what they're doing. I don't think it's going to be like what we're doing. I think we're doing nice. Wednesday, July 18th, Dennis Malloy, 1015, will be at the American Legion Post, number 129, at Church Road in Toms River. That's the Second Amendment Club down there in Toms River. I see it. And he's a big Tea Party supporter. Whenever there's a Tea Party issue or some sort of an issue that is close to us, he's right there. I'm not comfortable behind the podium. And it is what time? What time?
It's 7:30 to 10 p.m.
7:30 to 10 p.m. Dennis Malloy, July 18th.
33 attendants so far.
33 attendants? That's only on that website.
Just started, yeah.
Okay, I sent an email out about the farm fair the West Jersey Tea Party is putting on. I registered to volunteer to work the fair on Friday mornings from I think 10 to about 2 o'clock. Other people had expressed interest in helping them. They are just west of us, around 206, so it's probably about a 40-minute ride from this particular spot. It's not that far. They could use some volunteers, especially on Saturday. If you are interested, you can dig up the email that I sent. Yes?
Every Friday and Saturday, you say?
No, it's July 18th through the 21st. It's a Wednesday through Saturday, and that's it. Okay? And they're a good group out there. It's Bill Haney's group. Keith Peacock has taken it over. I met Keith when I met with Barbara Gonzalez before the Tea Party movement in Colts Neck, along with a couple other people deciding, what are we going to do? This was in February, I believe, of 2009, and this is what happened. So it's kind of cool. There's some good people. Governor Christie, has anybody heard about the Foreclosure Act? Yes. It's down. They vetoed it. They tried to override the veto. I don't think that override was successful. Is everybody familiar with the Home Foreclosure Act? They didn't override it, did they?
Agenda 21, right?
Yeah, well, it's related to Sustainable New Jersey and all that other wonderful, wonderful stuff. Okay, that's gone. You can call and thank the governor at 609-292-6000. If you don't have them in your phone, you should have them programmed there already, along with your congressman, along with your committee man from Howell, and anyone else that, for a quick reference. Chris Smith likes getting calls. They do respond. And we had some pretty good comments for Chris last meeting. I have got the tape, and I haven't had a chance to work it into a CD. But I know not everybody likes him. But he's been there 30 years. Yeah, I know. But he did come to talk to us several times, and I'd like to see him come here again. I'm sure some other people would like to as well. Okay. Fast and Furious you're familiar with. That is, was held in contempt, 255 to 67, with a 111 abstaining, and it's an embarrassment. The Arizona law, that was a disappointment for us. Basically, it was struck down in the Supreme Court, and of course Obama is granting basically blanket amnesty to illegal aliens, and this is all leading up to November and what we have to do about it. There was a call for the Tea Parties to unite in New Jersey again. The meeting is a week from this Saturday. I'm going with one other representative of our group, and I don't have a lot of hope on this meeting because I've been to 4 others, and I don't think it's being handled properly again. But I think that this meeting will be productive in that we'll know what we're doing wrong statewide and what we will have to do in the very near future. I'm talking about the coming weeks. We want to try to get this done before September to do it right. And, well, I'll just say what I feel. I feel that too many people are involved that don't have the expertise to run a large organization. That's basically my beef. You need people that are lawyerly, who have done this before, and not everybody is qualified as that. That would include me. I don't believe I'm qualified enough to run an organization that's statewide. Maybe I am. I'm not going to put in for it if I'm elected. I don't know. Right? You agree with me, Maureen? No. You do? Yeah. Thank you. It's a little controversial because every time this subject is brought up, people say, who are you to tell me that I can't come to this leadership meeting? Well, there was a reason that the founding fathers in Philadelphia in June and July closed the windows of the State House so people wouldn't be kibitzing, and that they wanted to get some things done, and things had to be said that were probably unpleasant. There was arguments in that room, nasty arguments. People walked out. Do you know who walked out? Several of them. I mean, it was not pretty. Politics is not pretty, and this I don't expect will be pretty either. And I don't think there's more than 24 people in the entire state of New Jersey that's a Tea Party member that is qualified to be on this board or whatever is formed. That's just my own personal opinion. You can agree with me or disagree with me. That's okay. You can express it on Facebook if you're on Facebook. Who's on Facebook? Don, raise your hand. You're on Facebook.
It took me 2 hours to find it.
You are on Facebook, young man. Whether you like it or not, you should see what you've been posting. Not good. Not good. A person of your age shouldn't be looking at that stuff. Okay. He's on Facebook. I also, we could chat about these kind of things on the Yahoo group that only 4 or 5 people signed up for. We made this group so we could talk to each other between meetings and come up with some ideas and interact with each other. The Yahoo group is still there. It's called East Jersey Tea Party. You can't miss it. And it's a private group. It's just for members only. It's voting members only, and it's completely private. Nobody else can get into it but us. So if you care to join that, that's great. Okay. Now we're getting down to the fun stuff. Obamacare. Okay. Who remembers what they felt like and where they were when O.J. Simpson got let off the hook? I was in Carteret driving my little telephone truck, and I was outside of school, and I saw all kinds of kids cheering and everything else, and I'm going, the guy got let off. Anyhow, I felt like I got punched in the stomach. And I felt the same way this time. I have no idea what was with John Roberts, but, and everybody's saying that there's a silver lining somewhere. There's no silver lining. A precedent has been set that the government can now
Coffin.
say that we can buy things. We must buy things. What's next? The volt? Speaking of the volt, I mean, if you were in Washington, D.C. over the last week, you weren't going anywhere if you had a volt, because there was no electricity. So, it's true. But at least the volt is a green car. It burns, it's just electricity, that's all it is. It's not coal-fired. Coal-produced electricity, no, or oil-produced. Yes, it is. If you're driving a Volt, you're driving a coal-powered vehicle. So there. Okay, speaking of Obamacare, I got something special here that might cheer you up a little bit. Cheered me up. Hey, how you been? I haven't seen you in ages. Wonky. Is anybody familiar with the 10th Amendment? Yes. It basically tells the government to kiss off. That's what it says. It says, no, you're overstepping your bounds. We will not comply. This is a bill introduced June 20th, 2011, and it's by Assemblywoman Allison McCose. And basically what it says, it renders the Federal Patient Protection and Affordability Care Act null and void in New Jersey. It's a good thing. People have guts to do that. You can call her, and who doesn't have a pen?
What's her name?
Oh, you better have a pen or pencil. Sit down. 973 300 0200. You can call her and encourage her. You can call your own state legislator, your assemblyman or senator, and it doesn't have assembly number 4155. It's the bill 4155. They should get behind it and nullify the Obamacare.
What was her name again?
Allison Little McCose. It's A-L-I-S-O-N. A-L-I-T-T-E-L-L McCose. M-C-H-O-S-E. Allison Little McCose. I'll be calling her myself.
Give us the number again, please.
Sure, no problem. It's 973 300 0200. 0200.
Dan, does she have an email site too?
I tried to look it up before. Could you look? Why don't you just look it up right now?
Take the computer and...
We'll look it up. We'll get you an email and before long. Yes.
She's state,
She's an assemblywoman. State. Yes.
okay, because I heard today that the governor of Florida declared it null and void in his state. And they were encouraging everybody to write to their governors to do the same thing.
Does everybody have the number for Chris Christie? 609
1-800
292 6000. What was the name of the governor in Florida? Rick Scott? Rick Scott. I should know that, but I don't. Can't know everything. But, you know, there's no reason why we can't invoke the 10th Amendment on this. It's the perfect example of why we should and why that amendment was put in there in the first place. When the government oversteps its bounds like this, it's time to put them in their place. I'm sure you would agree. Is there any questions?
Bobby Jindal also said he's going to do that.
Jindal out of Louisiana. Excellent. The guy's got guts. Let's see if our man can do it. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Yes.
Say that again louder.
The Republican Governors Association has basically decided they're doing nothing.
Yeah, I understand that too. The
What are we looking up again?
website for Allison McCose. The Governors Association, that's countrywide, the Republican Governors Association has decided they're not going to implement anything before November. It's after November is what I'm worried about. When I will hopefully be making a reservation in Washington. Yay. And we will, if we work at it, which means coming around to empowering yourself. Now, I basically talked long enough.
Excuse me, Dan, we're looking for our email address?
Yes, email address, Allison, Littell, McHose.
There's a form in our website.
Okay, there's no, just call her. Please just call her. All right, right now we're going to get ready for our, you have name tags, right?
Yes, I do.
You want to announce them?
Sure, you got a couple.
And while we're doing that, we're gonna pass the hat. Jordy Lang's gonna go around and take it. If you got $1 or something, that would be great. It takes money to run this thing, and if you got a buck or something, that would be great. Anything you could spare. Come on up, Susan. Susan has name tags to give out. Susan is our membership coordinator. Here we go.
Okay, I have badges for Tom Block, Margaret Buck, Pat Hagedorn, and well, let me explain that. What it is if you have attended a combination of 3 meetings and or events, you become a voting member, and then you are entitled to a name badge. So that's what I'm calling about. So again, Tom Block, Margaret Buck, Pat Hagedorn, Mel Lipovsky, Joseph Siriano, John Costigan, Michael Mayer, Thomas Stroka, Andy Daniele, Barbara Spreckman, Gloria Dimmick, Dave Dimmick, Ray Pohl, and Brian Barrett. You can see me over there, and I have your badge.
Any other questions? Okay, go. Camille.
How can we say we're assigned to jail?
What, he just misplaced a few bucks. Come on, you gotta move on from this stuff. You can't pay attention to that.
Move on. I get it. Move on.
Move on, yes. Forward, going forward. Which forward, by the way, is it's been in communist literature and posters for decades and decades and decades. So with that, we're going to take 10-minute break. Yep. Yeah, a microphone right there.
I don't need it. When the questions are asked, though, can you repeat them because we're not hearing them back here?
Well, that's what the microphones are for, if we can get them over to people. But we're going to do that later on. It's going to be open mic time later. We're going to have a big discussion. So, for now, let's take 10 minutes, say hi to each other, and I'll see you in 10 minutes. Turn it up a little bit. Okay. That 10-minute break we took ended 6 minutes ago. It is good to talk to everybody, though, and that's a big reason why we're here today. So, we're going to move on. Are you ready? Ready in the back? Okay. We try to do this every month. It's a little series we're doing. It gives people practice of up here in public speaking, and it's kind of like arguing with idiots, but it's called How to Argue with a Liberal and Win. And somebody every month is volunteers, and I could resend the list. There's 72 different topics in one section, and maybe 16 in another section that you can pick from. Each one's only a page or two, and it's an argument of what do you say when the rich get all the money? The rich are hiding all their money. Whatever it is, this will give you the answer. This month we have Susan Baldwin. Are you ready? And she's going to do her argument. You ready? Okay, here we go. Susan Baldwin, everybody.
I handed out to everyone, or at least to all the tables, a little blurb that was from a speech by Senator Fulbright back in 1961. And basically what it said was, the President is hobbled in his task of leading the American people to consensus and concerted action by the restrictions of power imposed on him by a constitutional system designed for an 18th century agrarian society, far removed from the centers of world power. Okay, You notice I highlighted in yellow several words there, consensus and concerted action. I mean, this might sound real nice on the face of it, but let's take this apart. Okay. When he talks about consensus, he's talking about a unified, common, collective by executive action. In other words, this nation speaks as one, and guess who speaks for us? The President. If you're in a country, if as our Constitution guarantees us freedom of speech and freedom of press, this is impossible. You can't have it because as long as you've got freedom of speech and freedom of press, you're going to have a variety of opinions. And then where it says concerted action, well, he's referring to that in an economic sense. In other words, those are catchwords for centralized planning and control under the President. If we have a free market economy with property rights for all individuals, not possible. The perfect example of this consensus and concerted action was the old Soviet Union, and we know what happened to them. Okay. Now he refers to the Constitution being written for an 18th century agrarian society. Yeah, the United States, the beginning of the 13 colonies, were an agrarian society at the time. But if you read the Constitution, and I did one, and I have read it, I didn't see anything in there that refers to what kind of society this was set up for. It doesn't make any reference to an agrarian society. This was designed to limit the scope and powers of government and to guarantee certain rights and liberty. It doesn't matter what kind, if it was an agrarian society, a technological society. Moreover, the Industrial Revolution already was in its infancy at the time, and I'm sure the Founding Fathers knew this. These were forward-thinking men. And they knew too, by limiting government, they released the creative energy. They gave us the industrial economy that had us move from an agrarian to an industrial economy. In an industrial economy, market competition, the free nation's always going to excel. All you have to do is look at our history and all the technological advances that have come down in the last 200 years. As we've seen in recent years, as the controls increase, the creativity decreases, and it gets harder and harder to compete. And militarily, too, this is also carried over that way. History is mostly the account of one authoritarian against another. If you look back, England, France, Russia, Germany, the Islamic nations. Then we came along, a free people. A free people is a versatile people. We're the ones with the record of beating the authoritarians permanently. Okay? So yeah, Governor, yes, Senator Fulbright, the Constitution was designed to hobble the President and anybody else who thinks they might lead us by force. And just to finish, I'll say this, bless the agrarians who wrote it, and I pray that we can hold on to what we still have and restore it as it was originally intended.
Thank you, Susan. By the way, the Reverend Hahn over there has these for 75 cents. They're magnet American flags. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take one. I'll take that one. Rev, I owe you 75 cents, buddy. Where's my list? Oh, speaking of the Constitution and writing of it and understanding it, Steve Chisholm here, our legislative liaison, has a little to say about that. Steve? Big hand for Steve.
Okay, not just the Constitution, but that is kind of the theme we're going to stick with this evening. Just all of our founding documents were things that are probably some of the greatest documents ever written. Who can name probably the top 5 as they are rated? Does anybody know? What are the top 5 most freedom-giving documents ever written in the course of human history? All of them occurred in this nation. Not in England, not in France, not in Russia, not in Africa, not in South America. All happened here. Who can tell me what those documents are?
All 5?
All right, well, one at a time. Here we go. Let's see. In the back. There we go. Oh, you got a mic. Go ahead.
The Constitution.
The Constitution of the United States. Definitely, that's got to be one. The Declaration of Independence, something we celebrated yesterday. And then it gets harder. Now the next 3. Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is actually a part of the Constitution, so therefore it is not. No. The Articles of Confederation. One goes way earlier and one comes after that.
Emancipation Proclamation.
No? The Mayflower Compact, the one that started all of the others. And last but not least, highly overlooked all the time. Set up some of our public schools.
Obamacare.
2,000 some odd pages of good stuff. No. Much shorter, briefer, but written for these really, really dumb agrarian people that just couldn't figure. No. For the 5th time, no.
Sounds better and better.
Sounds better, but it's still not.
Come on.
Come on. The Northwest Ordinance. Northwest Ordinance. Look that one up. Very enlightening when you look for those. So just some quick trivia on yesterday's event we all celebrated for the 4th of July, Independence Day. Some very brief trivia. Who was the only president born on the 4th of July? It was not Tom Cruise.
Calvin Coolidge.
30th president, Calvin Coolidge from Vermont. Very good. Quiet Cow. Okay, one of the first ones to actually cut back income taxes. Well, he got it back so that only 5% of the people paid. Of course, it was those darn wealthy people again, always the top 5%, paid all of our income taxes, but he rolled it back for 95% of the population. So pretty impressive. Of course, who are the only 2 presidents to die on the 4th of July? This one's a little easier.
George Washington.
It was Jefferson.
John Adams and Thomas Jefferson.
There you go. 50 years from the day of the signing of the Declaration. Actually, not. It was actually, yes, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Of course, we did have that little intro before. The Declaration of Independence, of course, John Adams told everybody and wrote his wife a big long letter about how we would celebrate for centuries and generations with illuminations and fireworks and all of these other great things on July 2nd. The day that it was actually ratified. So it was ratified in that very hot Independence Hall down there in Philadelphia with the windows shut, wearing those 3-piece suits and the wigs. Not pleasant. It was a heat wave, over 90 some odd degrees all week long with the windows shut, arguing back and forth. It was mostly the Quakers that left from Pennsylvania, but several others did leave at different points. So yes. They did finally sign it 2 days later on the 4th, and that's the day that we celebrate, not the 2nd, but John Adams will still write about how we do it, and hopefully we will have many more Independence Days to celebrate from here on out. Our Constitution is the bigger one I'm going to talk about tonight very briefly. The Constitution class that we are going to hold next week on Thursday, a week from tonight. David Barton's group, Wall Builders, some of you have heard of them. They have a partner group that is the Freedom Coalition. They also have a Patriot Academy, and these guys are established and put on a Constitution class. It's a full-day course or a 3-hour course. We're doing a 3-hour course next Thursday night. It'll be in Manalapan at the Quail Hill Boy Scout Lodge off of the Valley Road, right off of Route 33 in Manalapan. The directions are out there. Dan has emailed you. You need to be there. It is exceptionally great value. $25 where you're going to get a book and a class for $25. It's $35 for a couple, even better value, or you can bring the whole family for $45. So if you have teenagers or anybody else that doesn't know about it, drag them with you, kicking and screaming. They need to learn what's in this little document here that basically is supposed to ensure their freedom while they're being trampled left and right. Okay, so that agrarian society, all those lovely things, the Articles of Confederation, and of course, what were the letters back and forth that went back and forth and back and forth? The Federalist Papers, written for an agrarian society. Those dumb farmers, if you can't read that today, you're like, what? You read it 5-6 times. People, I have people that are college educated, lawyers, they don't get it. Heck, Judge Roberts didn't know what the hell it said.
Yeah.
It's common sense, people. It was written for the common farmer. If the common farmer could read those documents on a regular basis, what does that tell you about our society today? We're falling behind. So tell me, why is it that when we read our Constitution, I don't know if you've looked at any of the amendments in a while, but it says, Congress shall make no law, right? Congress shall make no law. The power is not delegated to the United States. How about some of the other ones here? Shall not be construed to deny. How about the rest of them? The rights of the people to bear and keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. You notice there's a theme here. Not. No, no, no. They wrote these because they did not trust Congress. They did not trust future generations and the government. They did not trust the king. They just threw him off. They did not want Congress to have any power over the people. And yet every one of these things here somehow our Congress has legislated rule after rule after rule saying, yeah we can, yeah we can, yeah we can. And we, like sheeple, have said, okay, it's fine with me, until it starts hurting your bottom line. And now we're to the point where we're going over the cliff. You need to learn about this document. You need to be at this class next Thursday night. You need to bring everybody you can. Who can name for me some of the 5 rights in the First Amendment?
Free speech.
Free speech, of course. Press. Got to have free speech and free press.
Assembly.
Right to assemble.
The First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment, religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
There you go.
Take it.
It's not freedom from religion, it's freedom of religion. Of course, they haven't got that yet. You know. Separation of church and state. Can you show me where that is in here? Well, no, it's got to be. It's in the Constitution. Article 43, haven't you read it? You haven't read Article 43? Oh, that's right. You're not from the Soviet Republic. That's right. The USSR has freedom. Yes, separation of church and state. It's in there. But that's, of course, the USSR, which is now dissolved. So don't ask me where we get it, but we can't have the separation of church and state. Of course, what is the most impressive, or most important, as far as I'm concerned, amendment in here? The second, because without that, the government can do whatever the hell it wants. Just like Judge Roberts says, now they can tax you for whatever purpose, whatever reason, doesn't make any difference. It's a tax, they have the right to do so. As enumerated in several other amendments, we can do what we want. Without the Second Amendment, they can do whatever they want. And because our congressmen and our founders actually feared Congress and what it might do, they put that in there. It was not to kill bunny rabbits. Well, that's a good thing. Gotta eat. That was not the purpose of the Second Amendment. It was because they were not allowing tyrants to overrun them, and that was their own Congress who they feared. Of course, we can go a little bit fast forward to 1913. Who was president in 1913? Woodrow Wilson! I hate that guy. Woodrow Wilson. At that same time, there was an amendment known as the 18th Amendment. Several of you here tonight would not be very happy about that. What was the 18th Amendment?
Don't take my beer!
Nope, 18th Amendment. 1 year from the ratification of this article, the manufacture, sale, and transportation of intoxicating liquors within, the importation thereof into, or the exportation thereof from the United States and all territory shall be under the jurisdiction thereof of beverage purposes, and here are prohibited. And of course it has a couple articles. What happened a couple years later? We went to the 21st Amendment. The 21st Amendment repealed that act. Why is it still there? Why didn't they just erase it?
Remind us.
To remind us. That was the intelligence and the forethought and the planning of those founding fathers. It would be there as a scar to remember. Why is this amendment there? Why didn't they just erase number 18? We'll just start over and renumber them. And we put it there because it was always there to remind future generations of the mistakes, and if we have them, we go back and we address them. These are the kind of things you're going to learn about at the Constitution class next week. It's online. Dan has sent you an email. Please register. It's $25. You need to be there. Thanks.
3 cheers for the 21st Amendment. Okay. Yeah, you can see we have a theme that's been going on tonight. It's the same theme that's been going on, I don't know, for a couple of years now. We're losing our rights, and it's time that we did something about it. Our group has gotten pretty large, and it's time to, like I said last month, to start flexing some muscle. I think that the first order of business, considering that 1/3 of all people who identify themselves as Christians are not registered to vote. Sandy, are you around? Where are you, Sandy?
Somewhere.
Where's Sandy? Come on up.
In here.
Where's Sandy?
He'd make a better choice.
Sandy and a few other people expressed some frustration over the last month. I know Susan did. A few other people. Well, I guess the Obamacare ruling woke everybody up. What are we going to do as a group? Well, we have made plans in the past, and you know, the participation really hasn't been what it probably could have been. Not giving up, but it's time now to get off our duffs for the next couple of months between now and November and get to work. We can roll up our sleeves for Ann Little. We can volunteer for Joe Carrillos. We can contact the Romney campaign and start working for them. I know these people are not necessarily everybody's first pick. Romney was not my first pick. Joe Carrillos is a great guy, but you know he's from New Jersey, and we get a certain breed in New Jersey. I don't know what it is. You're not going to get Governor Jindal up here. But Joe's a great guy. I think a fabulous senator. And who do we have now? Who's he going to run against? Menendez. Okay, so what are the choices? You work for Carrillos. He's the man. And I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll be great. As will Anna Little. She'd be a great congresswoman. Better than Pallone, who had a big hand in the Obamacare, the health care. They call it Pallone care up in Middlesex because he had such a big hand in writing it. Anna ran last year or 2 years ago, almost pulled it off. And if she could get the cooperation and the people behind her, she might be able to pull it off this time because people are downright angry and they're paying attention now, finally. And if they manage to connect, if Joe Carrillos can connect Menendez to Obamacare, and if Anna Little can connect Pallone to Obamacare, and which he rightfully has his foot right in it, there's a good chance that we can deliver some more conservative people here from New Jersey down to Washington to help us out. But the way to do that is to get some of these people to vote, and that's where it's all about. I really like it when people take initiative and say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Betty said, well, I'm going to make shirts. Who wants a shirt? I didn't ask her to do that. She took initiative, and she went ahead and did it. Hand for Betty with the shirts. Thank you. Thank you. All I ask is you just keep me in the loop. Like, hey, Dan, I'm doing this. What do you think? Sounds great. Run with it. Need a helper? I'll put an email out. Another person took initiative. Sandy Buchanan says, well, you know, God, what? She called me up, chewed my ear off this year.
That was your mistake giving her your number.
I screen my calls now.
Blame yourself.
But she's upset. Why aren't we doing this, voter registration? And when we went to a class back in February, I believe, yeah, this was one of the things they recommended that we do. It's a very effective. It's person to person, very personable, and it's very effective. And I asked Sandy to look up some of the rules and regulations, and here she is. Sandy, you want to just talk about it?
I actually said to Dan, why aren't we doing this and that? He didn't add that into it. But anyway, yeah. What I did is I went to the Board of Elections in Toms River, and we also, I think Jimmy has Monmouth County voter registration forms, and I have Ocean County registration forms. And I did ask them some questions, because I think what a great idea to hand out these forms, not only for people who want to change their address, which you could use that form, but to maybe have that opportunity to talk to somebody about what is going on. Because I think there are a lot of people out there that have no clue. And maybe it's also a good idea to invite them here.
Yeah.
Okay? And so what I did is I got some information, and if you want to help me, or if you're in Monmouth County and you want to do this by yourself, we have the forms, or you can get the forms. And you could, if you help the person fill out the form, then you have to sign the form, and there's a place on that. Okay? There's also an area on that where it asks for their driver's license number or another ID number, and the last 4 digits of their social security number.
Why? If they don't speak English.
If they don't speak English, if they really shouldn't be voting, all right? So, therefore, it's incomplete with the Board of Elections. So if they get something and that part isn't filled out, then that person is not registered. Yes?
What if they're already registered?
Speak up, Dan.
Okay. That's a good question, Dan.
Thank you.
And I was just going to state that on number 4. Okay? If they're not sure whether they're registered or not, they can fill out the form, because when it gets to the election board, they will find that up on their computers. So, yeah, they can fill out the form, or they should fill out the form.
Question?
Yes, I just wanted to mention on gbtv.com, on Glenn Beck's station, or TV station, online, GBTV online, there's a section where you can check whether you're registered or anyone is registered. You can just put, okay, thanks. You can just put in the name of the person or the name of yourself and the address, and it tells you whether or not that person is registered. So if you had a laptop with you, wherever you're going, you can also check right away online whether people are registered or not. And they can register also on that site.
You can also email people the forms as well. You can email them, and then they can check all their voting rolls and everything like that.
But I think what she's got in mind is person to person, right there at ShopRite. John?
Yeah. Well, I'll use it. Sit on. Two things about that.
Closer, closer. Hold it up.
Number one, well, all right. Number one, I go around. I'm in the Board of Elections in Freehold every week, once a week usually, with a new registration form. I don't care if the guy's registered or not. I'll take it anyway. I'll ask him if I can put an R on it, so I've got him as a registered Republican also, and I hand it in. They'll tell me right there, yes or no. But if I give them the form with the R on it, which before it was undeclared, they'll also put that in and make him an R. The second thing is this: the biggest sin in the whole world is to register a Democrat. Right? So I always ask. I want to know the person that I'm going to hand that registration form to. I do have other registration forms with nothing on the back saying mail it to Claire French, or mail it to Tom's River, or whatever. If it's a person that wants to be, like we have Holiday this Saturday, if I hand those out, it's going out to someone. I'll take it back, or if they're a Democrat, I say mail it into the clerk or the county. I don't want to do that. It's a sin. That's all I want to say. Thank you. Those two things.
I like his attitude.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, the last day to register is on October 16th. And I just think that it's a good idea for us. If you just want to, I'm going to be set up at a table close to the door. If you just want to take 2 or 3 and speak to someone, I called Walmart and Kohl's, because I thought I'd set up something out there where there would be some traffic, and they said no, they're not allowed to. But I called Lakewood, and I am going to be going in. I got permission that I can go into, the square there in Lakewood. I think that would be an awesome place to go to hand out these forms, wear our shirts, okay, and hand out some Tea Party cards and talk to them. I also am going to have a sign and something. I haven't gotten that all figured out yet, but it would be like, before you can vote, you must be registered. Before you make a decision, you should be informed. So, and other things. So anyway, I'm asking if anyone, and I surely need help, if anyone would like to help me. I'll be more in the Brick Lakewood area, but I'm willing to go any place. If you could find out, if you have someplace where you would like to go, I could also do the research for you. I wouldn't mind doing that. And let's get started with it and handing out the forms. And maybe, you know, we're going to be talking to some people who are undecided. And that would be one of my biggest goals. Okay? Okay, well, I'll give you that information at the table. Okay, wherever I'm sitting, that's where you could find me, and I'll give you that. Plus, I have a form where you could write your name and your telephone number or email, and I'll get in touch with you if you're interested. Thanks.
Sandy? Good. Sandy?
It's on. Talk louder.
Sandy? Great idea, and you got me to join up with your group. What you were talking about were positive things. I think another part of the problem is the negative things. What are we going to do, if anything, about the fraud vote? And it's ironic you picked out Lakewood to make sure that square there. It's ironic because, according to the newspaper reports, Lakewood has over 50% of the school population are illegal students. The graduating class from the high school is about the worst in the state. So we're destroying our own kids' education. We're paying through the nose for taxes for these kids. We're paying, I don't want to go into any further, but what I'm saying is, what are we going to do, if anything, about the fraudulent vote? I have in my hand, and if anyone wants a copy of this, see me and I'll give you the address, the email address. It's called Judicial Watch. How many here are familiar with Judicial Watch? Okay? I think we all should be. We all should be. So please see me later, I'll give you an address. Judicial Watch headlines, a monthly report that I get. Judicial Watch election integrity campaign mounting as voter fraud problems mushroom nationwide. And I suspect, can't accuse anybody yet, but I suspect Lakewood's going to be a problem. You mentioned about speaking English and how would they know what's on. You can't vote if you can't speak English because you have to be English speaking to get to be a citizen. And therefore you can't vote if you're not a citizen. Case closed. And yet some states are having ballots in foreign languages. This is absurd.
Hold the mic up.
JW files lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles over illegal alien sanctuary policies. Guess what? We have a sanctuary city right in Lakewood.
Right.
What are we doing about it? Nothing.
No.
So, Sandy, like I said, anything I can do to help you and anybody in here.
Definitely. I would like to talk to you about these things.
But we got to look at the negative side, folks, because this is going to be one of the biggest problems in this election.
Yes.
Thank you, John. Thank you. I have to take exception with one thing Sandy said. Give her a hand. She said take 2 or 3 voter registration forms. Now, we got 200 Ocean County forms. We have 200 Monmouth County forms. Bill?
I also went to the Board of Elections, talked to the people there.
Speak up, Bill.
And one of the things that we can do as members of this group is we can go and we can register for the class to be sitting at the booth where people are voting. Poll workers. We need poll workers, yes.
Bill, I don't mean to interrupt, but I've been trying to do that. I communicated with Scott, the clerk.
Scott Adams.
Scott Adams. Colabella. He gave me, he got me in contact with 2 other people. It got delegated and it got dropped. I fell off the radar and I don't know what to do because I really want to do it.
Okay, all right, well, I'll look into it, and I will go ahead and put it in the newsletter and send it out to everybody.
Okay. I was a poll watcher in Lakewood once, and they told me, you better not challenge anybody, because you're going to face a lawsuit. I want to get back on topic here. Go ahead. Pass on the mic over there. But before you speak, don't take 2 or 3. Find somebody in your area that you live nearby. If you live, who here lives in Point Pleasant area? That would include Brielle. Raise your hand over there, Brielle. Oh, that's Manasquan. Why don't you guys should get together with each other after the meeting and or, you know, say, you want to meet me at ShopRite for an hour on Sunday afternoon? 2 hours maybe? Same thing with Wall Township. We have people here from Wall Township area, Aberdeen area, Freehold area. You guys got to get together and just pair up. 2 of you would be more than enough. One, you can do it by yourself, but it's more fun with 2. It's safer with 2, and you know it's just more fun with 2 people. So try to pair up with somebody from your area. Take more than 2 or 3. Take 10 or 12. If you're from Ocean County, take a couple of Monmouth counties too, just in case somebody says, "Oh, I'm from Monmouth County." Say, "Oh, you are? Well, here you go." They fill it out. They give it back to you. You drop it in the mail. That's all you got to do. Drop it in the mail.
Dan, someone here has a question.
No questions.
I just wanted to say, to be a poll worker, you have to be a registered Democrat or a Republican.
But you can be a challenger.
I'm challenging. You can be a challenger, but you have to be designated by the party. You're challenging for a Republican, or you're challenging for the Democrat. You can't be undeclared.
Okay, John Costigan has a word about that. This is pretty much open mic the rest of the night. Anybody's got a question or want to say something?
Couple of things.
Go ahead.
If I register, because I've done it in Jackson, I've done it all over the place, voter registration, to people I know are good, like the gun clubs. Anyway, thank you. If I give one that's someone in Monmouth County that lives in Ocean County, Monmouth County will send that one down to the clerk in Ocean County. They do that. In other words, I've got a Monmouth County voter registration form. The person lived in Point Pleasant Beach. They'll send it down to Tom's River. So they do it back and forth.
So it doesn't matter what form you have.
No. The second thing, what's crept in the olden days, we were always told the only patronage you have is your poll worker. 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. Now they allow undeclared people in there to be either Democrat or Republican. And that's the fact. And I know Howell Township and all of Monmouth County, they've been asking me, get me some more Republican poll workers, and Democrats too. But that's what the thing is. If we want a Republican there, we have to make sure we have X amount of Republicans that are willing to do it. You're getting $200 a day. It's not that bad. It's a long day.
That ain't bad. I thought it was $5
a day. No.
Okay, so who's gonna get off there? Gonna do something about this? Raise your hand, please. Who's gonna register somebody to vote? Come on, raise your hand. You can vote. You can't find somebody to register? Everybody can find somebody to register. A third of us are not registered, or think they are, and they're registered somewhere else. Please. Okay, Andy Danielle, did you want to say something?
Always. Of course, always.
Okay, it's too bad. We were just, did you look at the time?
Time's up.
I'm sorry, we just ran out of time, Andy.
I just ran out. I just ran out of
Andy
tape.
Daniele.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank Dan for having such a great tea party here. He's doing a really great job. A couple of things I wanted to say. Friday of next week, a week from tomorrow, in the Eagle Oaks Country Club, that's right
Hold the mic a little
in Farmingdale, we're having the first annual Ronald Reagan dinner, honoring Congressman Chris Smith. Now this is my thinking, and I wanted to let you guys make a decision about this. It's only $65. You can dress up. It includes hors d'oeuvres, a really good dinner, open bar for 3 hours. Some of you could do some real damage with that, I'm sure. But more importantly, this is how we change things politically. Chris Smith, whether you like him or not or indifferent, he's going to be our congressman for the next 2.5 years. All right? We hope. He's going to win election again. What we need to do is keep in front of him, as far as keep visually in front of him. It would be a great thing if there was 10 or 20 of us or even 30 of us there at the dinner sitting together with Tea Party pens. That's my suggestion. All right, I'm going to hand out information about it, and you can register there's information at the bottom here for registration. And I put my email address if you don't have it. shoot me an email, tell me you're coming, and we'll sort of get organized. What we want to do, we're not going to accost the guy, but we're going to introduce ourselves as a group. I think this is important, and it's a very inexpensive, compared to most political fundraisers, it's a very inexpensive, it's a real value. You're going to a country club for $65, and you get to have a nice evening. They're going to have music, they're going to have good food. I think we should go. So I'm going to pass it. Does anyone think they might go? Okay? It's next Friday the 13th. There's a second thing I want to ask you, and then I'll finish.
Quiet down, people!
All right? How many people here think that if Obama gets elected, the country's finished? Okay, put your hands down. How many people here think that, okay, if he gets elected, this is America, we'll still survive it, it'll be okay? I don't. I think we're done. All right? So my question to you, I spoke to a group Monday night, my question to you, there's about 70 of us here, maybe less. If it was up to us in this room tonight, just us, would America survive November?
Yes.
Yes, I believe so. The things that you're talking about tonight is how we make a change. All right? Getting people to vote, registering all your friends, all your acquaintances, all the people who are conservative, that's the most important thing. But there's a second thing that I want to just briefly talk to you about that's more important than that even. And that is our First Amendment rights. All right? You have to ask the average person, what's the First Amendment about? And they say it's about being able to say whatever you want, wherever you want, and your own free religion, whatever. That's not it. The founders put the First Amendment #1 because they were afraid, once they died off and the next generation died off, they were afraid that we would be overrun with bureaucracy, the government would get really big, and the individual would get really small as far as individual liberties. And that's exactly what happened, and that's why they gave us the First Amendment, so we would have the legal right to speak up and speak out against a government out of control. And that's what we have now. We have a government out of control. All right? So, we need to speak out. There's less than 120 days left. We don't have a lot of time for social parties and, you know, baseball and all. I'm sorry. People ask me, I'm a big motorcycle fan. That's my life, really. People say, you taking a lot of trips this summer? I'm like, no, I'm working on saving the country. What are you doing? Now, I have a question for you. I have these new T-shirts, your East Jersey T-shirts. Has anyone worn them out in public yet?
Yes.
Oh, you just got them? Oh, okay. All right. Then well, I've been wearing my Baracula T-shirts for 4 months now. And I could say I've been wearing similar T-shirts for 3.5 years. I've had one person give me a negative comment in 3.5 years. And I work out at a gym in Neptune. All right? I haven't had one person at the gym say anything to me because they're ashamed of Obama.
Or they can't
but what I
read
want to
it.
say to you is, are you going to wear these T-shirts?
Absolutely.
Okay? Your T-shirts, my T, whatever. You can get my T-shirts on our website, that's fine. But what I'm asking you is, people are going to come up to you, and they're going to say, I like your T-shirt. All right? They're going to say, or worse yet, to me, this is offensive. They're going to say, hey, thanks for all you're doing. People who know me say, thanks, I really appreciate what you're doing for the country. That pisses me off. Because what I say when people walk up to me, and I can't make it through Costco without 10 people stopping me, they say, hey, I like your T-shirt. I don't say thank you, I don't say, hey, great, whatever. I get right in their face, nicely, and I say, do you think that we're going to survive if Obama's reelected? And they say, no. Most people say no. And then I say, okay, what's your name?
Joe.
Joe. I said, Joe, if it's only up to you and me, would we save this country? You would be surprised. Most people stop and think about it. Either say, I don't know, or I hope so, or whatever. And they say, I want to. And I hand them one of these, and you're going to get one of these. You can go to our website for free, print out copies of it in black and white, go to Staples and put it on colored paper. All right? This, I believe, is our 2012 version of common sense. All right? What we have to do is, every chance we get, talk the First Amendment. All right? I do it constantly. I go to Wawa, get a cup of coffee, person's nice and comfortable. Sir, are you having a good day? I said, I'm having a great day. I'd be having a better day if I didn't have a communist in the White House. You know what? you know what? Most people say, yeah, I'm with you. And I say, oh, okay, you with me? Here, you got to join us. I'm handing these things out all day long. That's what we got to do. I was at Citi Field watching the Met game about 3 weeks ago. Anyone been to Citi Field since they opened it? Total difference. The people there are the people working there, polite. As soon as you get there, everyone that works there, welcome to Citi Field, welcome to Citi Field. This is worth the time to tell the story. I'm flipping burgers. We're having a barbecue outside in the tailgate section there. And my family's with me, and they're nothing like me. They're real quiet, conservative, and all that. And I'm flipping burgers, and we're right past the walkway. And we're in New York City, very liberal. But it doesn't matter. I'm wearing my Bracula t-shirt. I'm flipping burgers. And as people walk by, I smile, and I say, welcome to Citi Field. They look at me and say, thank you. And I say, what do you think? Obama. Now, most of them gave me a thumbs up, which is okay. The ones who gave me a thumbs down, I gave them a vinyl sheet. That's great. But the reason I'm telling you this story is at first my family thought I was nuts. And then once they saw it was a little bit okay, they started to ask people thumbs up, thumbs down. And before long, there were conversations going, and people were, you see, we've gotten to a point where we're losing our First Amendment rights. We're getting to the point where you're thought of as being a racist or some kind of idiot if you speak out against a government that's taking away all of our rights. We have to change that. And that's why I urge all of you, less than 120 days to go, we have to be talking about this to everyone. Political correctness is killing us, all right? I think it's totally fine to talk about politics to everyone and anyone. Because if we don't, we're going to lose this country. All right? So I'm going to pass this out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy. 126 days.
Dan, I want to add something to that.
Okay. I know you do too, and Bill's first. Bill, Joellen, then you, Robert. Okay, it's getting late, so we're just going to keep it to a minute each, okay? By the way, there are plenty of business cards. They're over there, right, Robert? Business cards are over there?
Yes, they're business cards by the front desk, by
Take
the
some,
easel.
put them out, put them in your deli. Bill, you want to speak for a minute? Better be East Jersey website on that, Andy.
I have a book recommendation for a lot of my friends. Forgotten Conservatives of America. I don't know how many of you have read it yet. I heard it about Mike Church on Patriot Radio. I just finished it. One president who happened to be born in this country is in the book, and in his state. Grover Cleveland was born in the state. He's in the book. Great conservative. The Lindbergh family. Finally, the webs are pulled aside of all the propaganda about the Lindbergh family and Charles Lindbergh being called a Nazi and all of these different things, that the propaganda surrounding his family. This book is a must-read for any conservative. It's not a long read, but it's a must-read. All the things we talked about this evening, nullification. You know, after we had the Constitution, the first 60 years or so, the southern states were not trying to nullify a lot of things up until about 1850. It really got hot. And we're talking about the same exact things today. Obama's been nullifying our laws. The Defense of Marriage Act got nullified. The immigration people, that's all nullified. So this book covers all of these things. It talks about the agrarian versus the industrial society. It talks about Hamiltonianism taking over from Jeffersonianism. Forgotten Conservatives of America. It's a must-read, and thanks for listening.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, Joellen, you got a minute.
Real quick.
Time's up.
Listen up. I'm going to expand on what Danny told us. Your project this summer, you should all have index cards. Have talking points. If you want to talk about what Obama has done to the economy, have points on an index card, you can give it out. Talk about what he's done to religion, freedom of religion, give it out. You should have stacks of them available so that when you come across people, and you should be doing what Danny does, when you go into a store, just start a conversation. I had a lady who knew nothing about what Obamacare was about. I gave her a card that had 5 facts on them. She still wouldn't believe it, but at least I got the seed planted. So have in your purse or in your pocket index cards with whatever you feel most comfortable with with espousing. Get it on paper and give it out to everybody you can. That's how we educate.
Why don't you put those 5 points, type them out, email them to me, and I'll put them out there. How's that? Robert, you're next. Robert Goldberg, event chairman.
Thank you, everybody. 1 minute here, okay. Just start counting. All these meetings that we have are videotaped. I edit them to a lot of different little pieces and everything like that. How many of you were on Facebook? You can suggest on your own Facebook page some of these video clips that we have, like tonight's meetings, arguing with the liberal. There's a great one out there for Trevor Loudon that was at the Ocean County Citizens for Freedom, talking about Obama and how he became to be. A lot of them now, because of our timing that we've been on YouTube, I'm now able to record unlimited, so some of them are up to 2 hours and 45 minutes video there. Put them on your Facebook links to show your friends. You can copy and paste them to your friends on your email list. Let them see what's going on. We're videotaping this. You people are very intelligent when you're speaking. That's how you're going to get the word out on what's going on. You're going to see what's going on in our meetings. Pass the word by sending the videos out on your Facebook links, your regular email links, if you're on Twitter. Take advantage of it. There's a lot of great information on there for yourselves. If you haven't been to certain meetings, you can see what was going on. We don't need to publish minutes of what's going on because you'll actually see the video. So please go to YouTube, punch in East Jersey Tea Party, and you'll see about, as of now, there's 37 videos on there. After today, it'll probably be over 43. So take advantage of it and use it to educate people on what's going on.
Thank you, Robert. By the way, there's 2 large shirts available that are left. East Jersey Tea Party shirts that are available if you'd like to buy one. 1 minute, go.
Hi.
Right into the mic.
I went to the State House to complain about borrowing without voter approval. I don't know how many of you know about it, but Governor Christie borrowed without voter approval to balance his budget this year. I urge everyone to read Paul Molshine's article. It was 2 weeks ago, but I was actually in it because I did testify. But what he put out that thing on Sunday, and the bill number was S2020. Well, the day that came out on Sunday, the next day they had a voice vote to change the bill number to A3205, and then they voted on it on Thursday. So when the New Jersey has their legislation, and keep in mind, originally it was S2020, which was the Senate version, and A3000. They changed that from A3000 to A3205 on the 21st. On the 25th, they voted for the, the Senate changed the number, and they passed this thing. And everyone here, there was only one representative, and I heard someone say they were from Aberdeen. The Assemblywoman, Amy Hanlon, was the only one that voted no. There's 120 legislators. Only 10 of them voted no. And this, I tried to get the message out to, for everyone to do it. And I said, everyone's got to call, not just one day, every single day until June 30th. So, but when you do, make sure you have the number of the bill and the title. Because if you said to your guy, hey, listen, I want you to vote no on S2020, the Transportation Trust Fund, at least he's got the thing, and you say, and if it changes, I want you still to vote no. But unfortunately, we weren't able to get enough people to go out and get it. So that's what. What was that?
What's the bill for?
It's already passed.
What was it?
The Transportation Trust Fund. What they did was they borrowed without voter approval to balance this year's budget, and now they're giving us more debt. So Christie can say that he's giving us a tax cut without raising taxes. So.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. If you're not on Facebook, if you are on Facebook, go to East Jersey Tea Party and sign up. you don't have to run out of here after the meeting. I'm sure you can, but you can stay and chat with each other. You can find someone who has lives in your area to get together on voter registration. John, did you want to say? You got 30 seconds. Go. 28.
Dan?
Yes, sir.
On the 14th, you're going to be at that meeting where there's going to be leadership discussions.
I will be there.
A lot of great ideas were put forth tonight. And what do you people think is also very influential on the voters' attitudes and whatnot? Let me answer it for you. What do you think about the demonstrations we had back in 2009, where we had not thousands, not even hundreds of thousands, probably over 1 million people down in Washington, D.C. Do you think we should do more of that?
No, I don't think so. People are not into it. We set up these roadside rallies and only 6 people sign up, and it's like...
Okay, that's why I'm saying, no, it's not leadership meeting. Bring that subject up with them. Maybe we can get a statewide demonstration, and that can sprint other organizations.
I would go with that, but you can't show up with 6 people on the corner and people laughing at you.
People think we're dying out. I've heard it from more than once. We've got to show that it's...
Donna, go ahead.
Absolutely. Don't you think that now we all have the fire in the belly? We want to get the Republicans in. Don't you think now we have the fire in the belly? We want the Republicans in. Don't you think people will get out more than they would in?
We could try it again.
We've been trying for roadside rallies for the past 2 months, and only 6 people show up. We're going to look like idiots out on the road with 6 people.
Yeah, but don't
All right,
now,
okay.
I think people will be more willing.
Maybe we could do something statewide. I'll bring that up. Go ahead, Maureen.
How about if we have a plan to make 3 committees between now and the next meeting, and at the next meeting you have to sign up for one of them. One of them is to work for Curlos, one of them is to work towards the Romney campaign, and what would be the other one? And one of them is for the Anna Little campaign. So if we split up and form 3 committees, then each of those committees can develop an action plan for what we want to do as a group to work for that. So we're actually doing something for that candidate.
How do you want to do that?
So we can either, we're here, so why don't we split up into...
Raise hands, who would work right now? Who would work for Little, who would work for Corliss, and who would work for Romney?
How about we do this? How about I send an email out asking for volunteers for any of the three candidates, and we'll pair them up that way. I could probably do that by this
Or we're
Saturday
here,
night.
so could we do it with who's here now?
Yes, we could do it with who's here
And then we can
now.
also do an email for the people who are not here now.
Sure.
Those people here, the Romney people there, the little people there, will get together like that.
Let's do it. Where do you want the little people? Gorillas? Gorillas over here? Little over there, Romney over there. Let's sing God Bless America, and then you can get together that way. All right? Very important that we attend that class the other night too. A week from tonight. Please sign up. All right. Where's Dawn? All right. I'll just start it. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Yeah. Okay, let's put up